DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. I want to talk how to out-excellence unfairness. Now, we all know that in life there are imbalances. Everybody does not get the same. Everybody's not dealt the same hand. We don't all have the same circumstances. Whatever reason you want to put for those circumstances, whether it's your gender, your race, the country you come from, the family that you were born into, the pandemic, whatever the situation is, we know that everyone does not have the same opportunities. Everyone is not going to have the same outcomes no matter what. The government preaches to you or whatever anybody's protesting about. Everybody's not going to have the same outcomes. Now, I've talked about this whole thing when it comes to unfairness and imbalance and what to do about it. I've talked about it actually many times. If you're not listening to the Work on Your Game podcast, it comes on every single day on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, all of those. Go look it up, go find it, listen to it every day. Make sure you subscribe. But I was just listening to this interview with Dave Ramsey, he's more like the financial guy. And he was talking about this, and it sparked some more ideas in me of things that I want to talk about when it comes to this whole concept. So any of you who's ever found yourself on the wrong end of unfairness or any kind of imbalance that's not working in your favor, I want you to understand, first of all, no one's denying that this unfairness exists. All right, we all acknowledge that there is unfairness, there is imbalance in life. Not everybody's going to have the same opportunities, circumstances, and situations. Despite that, let me make sure I'm being very clear with everyone. It is still your duty to create success. Even though everything's not balanced, even though everything's not fair, it's still your responsibility to be successful. Let me tell you why. Because at the end of your life, nobody's going to say, well, you know what, we need to celebrate this person because they would have been successful had they had more circumstances in their favor, or this person would have been successful had there not been so much imbalance in life. The only people who get celebrated, the only people who go into the Hall of Fame, the only people who get documentaries made about them, the only ones who people talk about 10 years after they're dead, as opposed to everybody else, we forget them the next 10 minutes later, are people who did something, people who have some accomplishments that they can lay down as a resume under their belt. So it is your responsibility to create success regardless of the circumstances. All right, that's the first thing that you need to understand. So that goes right into the first point that I want to make here, is that in order for you to make unfairness, in order for you to have your game, your excellence outdo the unfairness that may be working against you, the first thing you got to do is make a decision that you are going to be successful. That's the first thing you got to do. Decision. A person of decision can create any outcome they want to create in life, whereas a person of indecision will never be able to do anything. No matter how much talent, skill, opportunity is available to them, they'll never create anything because they can't make a decision. Decision making goes hand in hand with power and responsibility and accomplishment in life. You must be a person of decision. Even if you make the wrong decision, as soon as you realize it's a wrong decision, you can do something about it, fix it and change it and make it the right decision. But you have to make a decision in the first place. So the first step to out-excellence any unfairness that happens to present itself in your life is make the decision that you are going to be a successful person, regardless of what's going on around you. The second thing you got to do is you got to assess the game. You got to see the game for what it is. Some people call this being realistic or reality. Now, I don't like to use this phrase realistic too much, because often in society when people say realistic, what they really mean is you need to take your ambitions and lower them a little bit, meaning whatever you think you can do, actually think you could do less. Lower it down by about 50% or 70% from what you're dreaming to something that's more quote unquote realistic. Usually when people say that, they mean do less or think lesser of yourself or lower your goals or what you think you can accomplish. That's not what I mean when I say it right here. When I say assessing the game and being realistic about it, what I mean is look at the circumstances in front of you and the situation in front of you, and see where you have advantages and see where there are disadvantages. See where things are working in your favor and where things are working against you. See where you may have to work less and still get an outcome, and also see where in life and where in your career or your business or whatever, you might have to work a little bit harder than other people to get the same outcomes that they get. And let's keep it real, people. Sometimes in life, this is a real thing. When I was in college, I remember the coach who recruited me to the college I went to my last 3 years. He coached me for 1 year. He got fired. A new coach came in. Any of you who knows college sports, you know when a new coach comes in, sometimes they clean house. And the players who played for the previous coach, you're in the worst spot because the coach is looking at you like, all right, you play for the old guy. I want to get rid of all the guys from the old dude and bring in my own people. So even if you're not a bad player, it's not like I was a garbage player, but he was looking to bring in his own unit of players. And since I played for the old dude, I had that working against me. I had the deck stacked against me just because I played for the wrong guy at that time. So I knew that in order for me to make the basketball team the next year with this new coach, I was going to have to be 10 times better than all the other dudes who were nobodies. Like the new guys who were freshmen, even though I was already better than them on paper, I had to be 10 times better than them on the court because I had this red mark against me. I had played for the old coach. So I had to be that much better to make the team, and I ended up doing it. I tell people even these days, as a professional speaker, for example, the professional speaking industry, most of the speaking gigs are booked by the organizations that put them together, are usually headed up by a bunch of white people. The audience is mostly white people, and most of the speakers are white people. I'm black. So how do I get those speaking gigs? And I'm not, and there's different types of people in the black community. Like I'm not some khakis wearing, button-up shirt wearing everyday black guy. You see me right now, don't you? You see the tattoos, you see the tank top, you hear the kind of language that I use in my videos, you see the kind of stuff that I talk about. So I'm not even a quote-unquote safe black guy. So how do I get the speaking gigs? I got to be 20 times better than those other people. I got to be 20 times better than the white guys. I gotta be 20 times better than the black people who might be, you know, they got their foot in the door in the corporate world. They know how to be safe and present themselves in that way. I'm not saying it as if they're doing anything wrong. I'm saying this is the game. I'm assessing the game. I'm seeing what the game is, and I'm understanding, all right, this is the adjustment that I have to make if I'm going to win this game. I can quit the game. I don't have to play if I don't want to, but if I'm going to play this game, this is the situation at hand, and these are the things that I'm going to need to do to win this game. That's your job. This is part of your job, is to look at things as they are and then figure out, all right, how do I adjust my approach in order to create success in this space? Or do I want to stay in this space? Like, you ain't got to stay in the game. You can quit the game if you want to. You could just say, you know what? I don't want to play this game because it's so unfair. It's so imbalanced against me. I don't even want to participate. You have that choice. You have that option. But if you decide that you're going to stay in the game, then you need to look at the game for what it is, see how it's working, and then see, all right, how do I get in where I fit in? How can I leverage my attributes to my advantage, and where are these attributes working against me, and what can I do to compensate for that? This is your job. You must ask yourself these questions, answer the questions, and then you got to put the answers into action. If you're not doing this, then it's only your fault. It ain't nobody else to blame for that. Don't blame society. Don't blame the world. It's your fault if you don't ask yourself these questions. And the third thing is, once you get out here and start executing, we're talking about your excellence outdoing any imbalance that is in front of you. Remember the whole game. This is a performance-based business. We're talking about life here. I don't care if you play ball, if you're a professional speaker, if you write books, if you're trying to get a job as a maintenance man, you're a teacher in school. This is a performance and results-based business. Meaning this, as long as you can perform and produce results, it doesn't matter if people like you or not. It does matter, but in the big picture, it doesn't matter. Like, somebody might not like you in one place, but if you're good enough, or you can just take your game to another place and prove those people wrong. Somebody might not be feeling you at this job, and if they hate on you and you end up out of a job, well, just go get another job at a different place. All right, you'll be able to get on because you already know you can perform. You already know you can produce results. When you are a person who can produce results and perform, you will always be able to create opportunity for yourself. Now, if you can't produce results and you can't perform, then you might need to be a really friendly person and play the game and do what everybody else tells you to do in order to stay in, because your performance can't get you on. But as long as you can perform, you'll always be able to get an opportunity for yourself. So remember that that's what the game is. So let me recap what I just told you here. How to out-excellence any unfairness that you have in your life. Number one, make the decision that you will be successful no matter what. Regardless of all the odds stacked against you, or the people hating on you, or whatever it is systemically that you think is holding you back, make the decision that you will be successful no matter what. Number two, assess the game for what it is and know where you're going to have to make adjustments based on that situation and based on who you are as a person. This is your job to know what adjustments you need to make and to make those adjustments. And number three, remember that this is a performance and a results-based business. As long as you can perform and produce results, you will always be able to get on and create an opportunity. Anybody who can perform, Anybody who can produce results will always be able to get a chance, as long as they got game. You might not be able to get a chance here or here or here, but somebody over there will give you a chance. Why? Because they know you got that game, because they know you can produce an outcome. Somebody will always be willing to pay for that. So that's what you need to know here. If you have not yet claimed your free copy of my book, The Mirror of Motivation, the link is down there below in the video description. I got a new book coming soon. I'll be announcing it pretty soon. By the time you see this video, I might have already announced it, but I'll be announcing it in my future videos when it's ready. But if you haven't gotten The Mirror of Motivation, I'm giving you the book free. So all you got to do is cover the shipping. Go to the link down below. It's mirrorofmotivation.com. I'll give you the book free. Just cover the shipping. And I want you to text me. Tell me the best idea, the best insight you got from this video that you just watched. My number is 305-384-6894. Again, 305-384-6894. Text me, tell me the best thing you got from this video right here, and work on your game. Dre all day. Got it.